Hello, am I audible? Please reply in the chat. Guys, please turn off your videos and reply in the chat if I'm audible or not. Okay, cool. So I guess we should start now. And please turn off your video, your mics, turn off everything. And just in case you have any doubt or anything, just write it in the chat section. And so we'll mainly go through this in three parts. First, I assume that most of you attended the Git sessions and like tried to learn something out of it. So we'll try to cover some of the Git aspect of this project first. Then we'll move on to some of the conceptual things that we need to understand before we start with Django, and then we'll move on to the actual code. Okay. So okay. So can you see my screen right now? Okay, so let me know when the screen is visible. Okay, cool. So the screen is visible. So I'll head over to the project link, which in which Soham set up the README file. So I'll drop the link over here for your reference. So first, what we'll do is we'll fork this repo. Like this is currently on Develop Lab. So whenever you want to work on a project, you first fork the repo on your own profile. Okay. So first I'll fork it on my own profile. So this currently has no code or anything. I'm just forking it on my profile, and then we'll clone it and work on it and create the first project and whatever we'll do on this. So to clone this, I guess you know the basic steps. So this is on my profile right now. I'm copying the link and we'll do a git clone. So I'll go to a directory first. So like this is currently cloning the project on my computer. Next, we'll just go through all the steps that you've already probably done before. You should please follow along with all these steps. And like the GitHub, if you think the Git part is not what you know right now, if you want to skip for the Git part, you can skip it. You can directly go to the code part. But it would be preferable if you do the Git part, because at the end of this webinar, your task would be to set up your repo and in the end make a pull request on our main repository. Okay, so the project is cloned right now. If you have any doubts till now, just put it up in the chat. I am keeping a track on the chat. Any queries? No. Please mute yourself, guys. Okay, so I'll open the project in Python. So this was a dummy project. I'm opening this current project right now. So this is opening up the project in Python. Nothing new. Guys, please mute. Who is this guy? Guvala Sujita, please mute yourself. I'm unable to mute you. Is there any issue till now? Please, you can write it up in the chat. I'm following the chat. Okay. So this is a blank project. Nothing is set up right now. So we'll follow the steps that Soham mentioned in the README. So like I already have Python installed, so there is no issue. So the next is I already have virtual environment installed, so I'll directly make a new project. Okay, I guess there's a message. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'll first make a new project. First make a new virtual environment. So in my case, I write Python 3. That's not an issue. So this will create a virtual environment in this directory. Okay. So yeah. So here is the virtual environment has been created. And the next source. This is the command. I'm just following the command from the repo. Nothing new. So you can see this environment is activated right now. So this is for Windows, and next I'll install Django. So for that, so this is a small d actually, pip install Django. I request you to please keep doing all these steps on your computer while I do them. I'll give you some time to do them if you're lagging behind, but just keep following all the things that I'm doing right now. Okay, so Django has been installed. We can check the installation, but I am sure it's installed already. So I'll create a new project in this repository, in this folder. So create start project my site. Okay, so a project has been created. So you can see my site. This is a Django project, and you can also run to check if it's working or not. So just follow these commands, and so I did the migration. We'll explain at the end what all these migrations and stuff means. But for now, like just see what I'm doing, and you can please do it on your own. So I started the server, and here you can see a blank template Django site has been created. So I'm back to the comments. Now we'll try to answer. Can we have multiple virtual environments? So virtual environment is basically used so that the dependencies, like Django is a dependencies, and there are a lot of other dependencies. You can keep them separate for each project so that the versions do not mess up with each other. So let's say if you're working on one project which works on one version of Django and another works on an updated version, you don't want to mix them up. So you create separate virtual environments to install these dependencies. So I guess I also answered Shubham as well. So this is not like always required, but it is a recommended practice to use a virtual environment because uh, yeah, because like I said, the versions may be different or you need different dependencies. Sometimes installing globally needs a lot of other permissions as well, which are not always given to all users. So yeah, who's mm, yeah. So did I answer you as well, Shubham Agarwal? Shubham, any other doubts? Has everyone been following all these steps that I mentioned? Has anyone done it on the computer? Set up the project. You can leave the fork part, but at least the creating a new project in Django and starting it up. Others, okay, cool. Okay, I'll see how many forks have I gotten. You can leave the fork part, but if you do it, it would be great because in the end you can. Okay, 13 forks. That's good. Others can also follow. You can skip the fork part. Just set it up locally on your system. So just to revise, so I'll Control C to stop the server. It's just a command. And so like I said, I'll also go over some Git commands which we have already done just to revise them. So Git status tell you what all files have been created. Okay. So I'll cd one step back. So this is in my set. I'm going back to Django webinar and Git status. So as you can see, my site, AMD and ID are not currently tracked by Git. And these two folders don't have to be tracked by Git. You have to ignore them. We can use git ignore for that, but we don't have time for that right now. So for now, I'll just do git add my site. And if you see git status now, so you can see all these new files have been added. You should actually remove this SQLite DB as well, but let's just keep these all for now. We can do these later. So this is an initial project setup. Git push. So yeah. So this will push whatever code that we have done till now to my repository. Any doubts till now? Okay. So before we actually go into the actual code, writing apps and all that stuff, I'll first brush up some basics that everyone must know about web development and everything. Yeah. So yeah. So first thing is what HTTP methods. So there are a lot of HTTP methods like get, post, put, delete, and a lot more. Currently, for our project, we'll only need to understand two. That is get and post. Like you might need others, but for now these two should suffice. So get is when you like this is a vague explanation of how it is. Get means you are getting something, like you get a result from the database or the server. Post means you are sending some data to the server or the database. Okay, getting, sending, get, post. Just understand them for now. So when you are like downloading a file or viewing a file on the internet, it's a get, like you're getting it. But in case you're logging, like signing up on a page, you are sending a post request. Like you're sending data. You have filled the form, and you're sending the data to the server. This is just a vague explanation. We can like this is the scope for now. So in web development, and there's like four crucial things, that is CRUD: create, read, update, delete. So on any site, you can like narrow down each operation to any of these four categories. Either you are creating object, creating data, reading the data, updating it, or deleting it. So we'll try to cover what all, like for today. I am thinking we'll mostly cover create and read. Update and delete can be done on your own, or we can have a separate webinar for those. But we'll try to cover these two in Django and how to like do these in Django and how you can like work on it. So that is CRUD. And then we come to MVC, MVT. So MVC stands for Model View Controller, and MVT stands for Model View Template. So all the like web frameworks like Node.js, which uses Express or Django, they are based on these principles of MVC or MVT, Model View Template, Model View Controller. So when we come to the code, these things will become more clear. So model is basically a logical data structure, um, like in a person, you make a model of a person. What do you need? Name, age, address, phone number, all those stuff. So that is a model. That is like a class or a struct. And on the struct, so the view can update, like do the CRUD operations on the model. View will do these, and the whole data is accessible to the view. So on the basis of the inputs provided by a template, this data is displayed back to the user. I guess this is becoming a bit vague now, but things will become more clearer when we jump into the code. So you get a template, view, like these two interact, and view. View is like the main logic of your program. So Django mostly follows MVT. It is a modified form of MVC. This is just some theoretical knowledge. So some basic stuff for right now. Uh, yes, we can send data through using query parameters, but post is for like for you making forms and all. You're right. Any other queries till now? Anyone? Uh, so has everyone kind of pushed the code maybe till now to their folks? If you don't have any other doubts, just reply okay or something like so that I can continue. Okay, cool. So yeah, so we should just probably get into the okay, what is the main advantage of MVT? So like MVC, MVT, these are like programming paradigms that we use. So if you get a look at some PHP code, you will realize that those codes need to explicitly explain everything. In model view template or model view controller, a lot of things are abstracted to the programmer. So in the code as well, I will show you two approaches of working on the code. You will see the reduction in the number of lines that you need to code. In PHP, that would take 1,000 lines. In Django, you would hardly have to write 3 or 4 lines. So MVC, MBT are just paradigms to abstract all this stuff. Did I answer you? Yeah, it separates the concerns that, yeah. Okay, we can move on to the code right now, I guess. So, so in Django, you generally separate out all your logic in form of apps. So, like if there's a like a website for a scoring system, you create separate apps. One app for this, let's say the site of Ignis. So you will create separate Ignis. I guess everyone knows about it. So the major components are the users who need to log in and register to the events, and there are sponsors, and there are like the details of the events. So the logical categorization would be events would be separate, users would be separate, and sponsors would be separate, but there would be somehow some linkage between them too. So but the overall broad categorization would be based on the basis of apps. So firstly, I'll create a very basic dummy app to show a basic hello world how you can do that, and then we'll do some dynamic stuff as well. Okay, so Django Admin start app hello. So this is just a dummy app. You don't need to understand the logic of why I'm making this. So this is a hello. So when you create an app, there are like 4 or 5 important files that are created. One is the admin, the apps file, models, tests, and views. For right now, we were only concerned about views, models, and maybe we'll touch upon admin as well. Apps and tests you can leave for now. And in it is a basic Python package file, which when a new package is created, it's made. So yeah, I'll just restart the recording. So just a second. Recording is back up. Yeah. So, and this is like my apologies. I created it in the wrong directory. I'm sorry about that. Okay, enter the my site directory in which you like initiated the project, and then do the start app thing. Okay, my mistake. So like this is your main directory, the repository, and inside there is the default. There is one default app that is created by the project, that is the my site, and this has different files than the other apps. This is not a normal app. This is like some configuration files related to the project, and this is a new hello project that we created. So whenever you create a new app, you need to first go into the settings.py folder, and then go to the installed apps uh, field, and add this app to this list. Just add hello, this file, oh, this name over here. I'll come back for some doubts. Okay. Any should I stop here? Okay. And I will also need you to do one thing over here. Write this command. I'll paste it in the. I'll wait. This is. Just wait for this. Just add this to your installed apps. And what we'll do next is we'll go to the views of this hello app. Okay, so views are so there are two types of views in Django. One is functional views, function based views, and another is class based views. So function based views, you have to be very explicit and mention a lot of things. So first I'll show you how function based views work, and then once you get it, we'll move to class based views, and you'll see how superior they are in terms as compared to function based views, because you have to write a very less code, and it's very good. So let's say I'll make a function hello world, and so I guess I hope that you know some basics of Python, some that much prerequisite I expect from you. So a function takes in parameters. So each view will take a request. When you open a page, you will get a request, and you need to return to that, right? and you can use this method called render that has already been imported in views to render some text or some data. So maybe not that, maybe we can use HTTP response. Just add these lines, I'll explain what these are doing. Okay, so like I said, MVT, three things: model, view, template. So in this case, there is nothing much to make in terms of model or templates. This is just uh, just a response, a raw HTTP response. So we can just do with this one function. But first, we need to define the path where this would be shown. So go to this urls.py file, and in this add a. So first we need to import that view. So there's a view that is present in the hello folder over here, and we need to import that from dot hello. Um, just a second. We in Django load the project based on the. Yes, you can say that the running of the project is based on the configuration in the settings. So from hello, we need to import hello world. Did I make a mistake or somewhere? So this is another file that you need to be concerned with. That is a URLs file, in which you define the paths on which you want to serve what you want. Like where do you want to serve the code that you serve the different pages on the website. Like you can make more of these files to abstract some logic, but for now I'm writing everything in this urls.py file. I'm not sure what I do wrong here. We'll see. So I'll start up this project now. So if we go on hello, so you can see hello world is here. So in this was just a raw HTML response, nothing else, just text, just to show how the URLs and the views work. So that was a function based view. That's where you define the raw logic. Over here you can do all sorts of computations and everything that you want over here in this function and do it. And we'll go over some specific creating use cases, listing use cases and everything. Any doubts till now? So what we're concerned, just a basic one, views based on a function, Python function, which returns a response. And you added a URL path. Like if a user goes on slash hello, it goes to the hello world view, which is present over here, and it runs this. And when you make a new app, you include this over here. Okay, any doubts? I'm back to the chat. Any doubts? Just reply okay if you're done with this, and if you have done this on your system. Has anyone done it on your system? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So we'll maybe push this code as well to Git. So as you can see, new files are the settings one, the URL one, and the hello one. So we need to include these two and these. You can leave these one. These are temporary files. We don't need these. But let's say we'll add them for. We'll add my site directory file for now. Okay, created, committed it, and pushed it. Okay, so this was a basic one. Now we'll move on to something more like show how Django is good. So what I'm thinking of a project is a complaint management system. So that would be like in our, because I wanted to make it somehow relatable to us. So let's say complaint management system for our own college. So I'll make an app for that first. Like I said, every logical thing should be separated into apps. So let's name it complaint. Okay. So if I go into complaint, these are the same files that were created in the hello app. So first so now we'll go in a stepwise manner. Model, view, template. Let's model template view. We'll see how it goes. So first we need to create a model. Like what all do you need in a complaint? So let's say there's a class. You need. I hope you know structures or class structs or class. Like even first year you studied Python and other years also have studied structs or classes. So so what I did over here is inheritance. So I created a class complaint and inherited models.model. That is like a standard Django way of representing models. So you can ignore this if you don't want to understand, but we are just importing how models should be structured in Python in Django, and we are working on top of that, like overriding the methods or creating everything. So let's say what will our complaint need? Title. It will need a title. So Django has various kinds of fields to have data. Like if you do title is equal to models dot char field. So this will create a character field. Like, and what would its max length be? Let's say the max length would be 64. You cannot have a title greater than 64. You see, we are designing the database over here. You can think of it like that. You are designing the database, the columns of a database or an Excel sheet. How our logic would build on that. This is what models are. What else would we need? A description. Models or let's say text field. Uh, do you have any other idea of what other fields you can use? Just put it in the chat. Anything that you could think of. Okay, we can do date. Any other ideas? Anyone other than others have any ideas what we should include? Okay, time, name, optional. Okay, okay, time, name, date. Okay, we'll add name. Uh, we'll just make it student name. We'll make it student name who made the complaint. It could also be a char field. Max length would be let's say 128, and we'll add let's say, and you said we should make it optional. So you can add various fields like required. I hope this works. Yeah, so there are options like null is equal to true and blank is equal to true. You want to say that if this column in the database can be left empty or not. You can define this over here. Null is equal to true, blank is equal to true. So the person can leave this. This would be an optional field. Other we can do is date field. Okay. Random. Okay, got some good suggestions. So the unique ID thing, I was planning to add that, but I thought it would be complicated a bit for now. I'll do this when we do the update part, and a media file can also be done. Let's just skip it for now, but these 4 files should be enough for explaining it. Okay. So there's another thing you should generally add with a model that you create. That is this function, def str self dot title. So what this is doing is, you know what an object is, right? So let's say I want to know what this object represents. Like object has would have all these 4 fields, but you want to say like just by looking at it, you want to know what an object is about. So this function does that. It like if you want to say that a complaint is, you can, there's a folder that has a lot of information. You generally see only one thing at the top. So this is that one thing at the top. It will return the title when you want to view what the object is about. You can set it to other things as well. Let's say I could set it to plus self dot student name and add it in braces. Okay, so what this will do is self dot title. So this will show this is the title of the complaint and this student has made this complaint, just so that it's visible from like just by viewing the object. So here we created the complaint. Okay. Next, any doubts now? Okay, we can go into the SQLite database as well, like Ajat recommended. Yeah, so after you create a model, you need to run migrations. So what that does is creates those columns in the actual database. So the commands would go something like this. First you do make migrations. This is the first thing you have to do. And next you have to do is migrate. There is some issue. This should have shown something. Okay, so I forgot what I mentioned earlier as well. First you need to add this app in the settings. So first go into settings, add this complaint. Okay, and once you're done, you run the migrations again. So it created the model in the database and you done do migrate. So I'll show it in SQLite. So this is like the, so here is the database where this all data is stored, where the columns and tables are there. Let's see if it opens over here, else I'll use SQLite. Okay, we'll open it here. So this is the SQLite file, this is the database, and you can see over here, so these are like the Django tables that you don't need to be concerned about right now. Apart from that, you should be able to, yeah, here is the complaint. So this is the complaint app. Inside that there is a complaint model. So there was a default ID that was generated, student name, which is varchar, okay, and title, description, date. So like I said null is equal to true and blank is equal to true and student name. So there is no not null constraint over here. It is not present here. But in the others, it is by default required. Okay. Any doubts? Yeah, I have a missing driver. Did everyone get what I was explaining in the database? Like the model you created are the columns of the table in the database. Okay. We'll move further. So this was the model. Next we go on to the, let's first create a basic template file. So follow these steps clearly. So in the my site directory, like the main project directory, create a new folder directory, name it templates. Inside templates, create a new directory, and name it complaint. Okay, and inside complaint, create new file that is okay. So we'll need to first we'll work and the correct first we'll work on the create part. So I'll first create a HTML file, complaint create complaint.html. There was a doubt. Yeah, we haven't mentioned table name anywhere. Yes, it is taking all these details on its own. That's the Django magic of it. All these things are done on their own. The names are generated by the app name and the model name. So you can see complaint underscore complaint. The first complaint is the name of the app, second complaint is the name of the model. And all these tables are also created. These are created automatically by Django. So you can see these when we come to the admin part. Any other doubts till now? So from recap, how are you expecting a recap? So models given a database. Okay, I'll go a bit slow. Abhilash, yes, you can create the models given a data. Like on your own, it's not a preferable thing because all your code will refer to the models to do other stuff. So you do not go directly into the database and create a raw table on your own. You don't do that. Any other queries till now? Am I going too fast? Let's say there is further. Okay. So if you have a huge project, like going a raw way is not generally preferred, but what you can do is first create the models in Django, make a like empty database, and then you can manually copy over the dump of the other project to this project. There is no neat way to do this. There must be tense research online, but making raw data models on the database is not preferred. Yes, you have to manually make it. Any other doubts? Am I going too fast? Reply yes or no at least. Okay, any others? Okay. Others please require with a Y or N. Okay, I'll go a bit slow. Has anyone followed till now? Like, has anyone done the Hello project? Just to recap, first we did the Hello app. You can leave that for now. We just did a dummy thing for that. Next, we made a new app called the app. Then we moved to its models, and we created a model called Complain. Complain is a class. If you know structs, you understand what I mean. In struct, we added the fields that we needed. This is just syntax. Like I cannot can explain the parameters. Like the student name is a character field. It has a maximum length of 128, and it is allowed to be left blank. It is an optional field. Title is also a character field, 64 maximum length. A description is a text field, and date is a date field. So I can show you till hello world. Yes, Ankit, what are you saying? It was fine till hello world, or it was? Should I go? You should skip the hello world. We'll just do the complaint thing now. I'll try to go slow. So I'll show you the various fields that we have. Okay. So if you can refer the Django documentation whenever you want, but this will show you all the kinds of files. Just a second, I'm trying to. Yeah, so these are all the fields that you have. So you can have a date field, mm, you can have date time field, a decimal field, a duration field, email field, file field. All these kinds of fields are available in Django inbuilt. They have their own kind of validation inbuilt. Like if you try to write uh, characters in a number field, it would not accept it. Shubham, yes, you can use any kind of database instead of SQLite. I don't want to confuse other people how to do it right now, but you can do that. SQLite is just by default. And okay, uh, So where I went a bit fast. So first created the compliant app, created the model. Up till here is everything fine. I'll explain the templates part again. At least till here, I hope everything is fine. I'll push this model. You can copy it from my repo directly, and I'll actually remove this too. This. So I added the component. I'm just pushing the component tag. Okay, so you should actually go over here and see you can copy the changes that I did in your own code. I forgot to push it. So this is my GitHub repository. In this, only till now I have only created the app and created this model. You can copy this code from here. I'll send the link. Any doubt till now? From hello world till this model. Any doubt till from on this part? I'll explain the templates part again. Don't worry about that. Start a new app, name complaints, then make a new model. At least reply Y or N. Okay, cool. Clear till model. Okay. Next. Okay, so models are done. Next, we create a basic. Let's. And now you need to do this. Don't worry about the speed. Just do these things. Create one folder named templates in this big, like, there is a Django webinar folder, there is a my site folder. Inside that folder, create a new folder called templates. Inside templates, create a folder called complaint. Inside complaint, create this file, create -complaint.html. Just do these three things. I'll give you 2 minutes to do this. I'll actually push this too. Is everyone clear with the templates thing now? I pushed it as well. You can check the repository. You can go here and go to this. If you go here, this is the templates. Inside it's complaint, and inside there is another file. Just create this. You don't need to think about it much. Oh yes, I'll add it. I'll add it. I was about to do that next. Okay, so I'll give 1 more minute. Let me know if you're still doing that, creating the directories and all. So next you need to do one thing. Inside this my site folder, you need to go in the settings file and you need to go down to this thing, templates, and this field, and just write this. I'll paste this in the chat. You can copy it from there. You can just copy this code from the chat. I've pasted it over here. Just replace this over here. Any doubts? Okay, next we'll create a view. So in the complaint one, we need to create let's create another, like create a complaint. So for that, first create one file in this complaints directory and name it forms.files. First you need to create a forms class to like accept like to model the fields you need to get from the user. Any app folder that may be referred by the app. I'm not sure what you mean by this, Abhilash. Till now I have done only three things in the settings file. Added these two in the installed apps and just added this one line over here. In the templates is equal to this. Just replace this one line with what I said. Okay. So next, first you need to create like a Python class for a form. So for that, from Django dot forms import forms. Like just write this down for now. I will try to explain this. So what do we need? Create complaint form. We need a form to create a complaint form, and this would inherit from forms dot model forms dot form. Okay. Just follow this code for now. I will try to explain this. And we'll first import the model that we created, the complaint model that we created. So from models, import complaint. First we import the complaint model from over here, like we created this model, import it over here and write this code, what I'm writing. I'll try to explain. I am creating the form. I'm using FBB, but I'll make the form on this only. FBB. That would be used, but I need to cast it into something, right? Even the FBV approaches use the form class. So, like Ajat was trying to say to go a very or more basic approach, but right now let's just stick with this only. So just try to write this code for now. I'll explain it. So what this did is created a form class, a create complaint form. This is a how to create a form, and in the meta, inside the meta of this, we like told which model are we referring to, about which model we want to create a new object of, and the fields of that of that model that we want to include. So currently I'm including all the fields. So let's say if we didn't want to include all the fields, you could have specifically mentioned them all. So what all fields did we have? So let's say student name, title. So let's say student name was optional. So we are not putting it in the fields. Other, and you can put description and date. So you could mention these as well, but for now we'll go with all the fields in the form. Class and folder, so any other folder. So Abhilash, we will use this path in the templates folder later on. We can like, uh, and also Shubham. Ajit, can you answer Shubham in the chat? Yes, this is a class in a class. This is a meta class. So this the Django magic that happens, it refers to this class. It so from this it knows which table in the database to look up to and which model to refer to create the form and to fill the entries in the database. You can, like some part of it, you can actually consider it a Django magic, but all of this has code inside of it. I cannot explain all the details. I just can try to. Yeah, that is meta programming. Yeah, so I created a form over here. Next, we'll go to the views. So we created a form. We'll go to the view. So first, we're doing function-based views. Okay. So first, we need a create complaint. So these are also for function-based views. These are also just basic Python functions. Nothing else. Like I did in the hello world part, these are also just functions, but they would do a bit more than regular functions. Okay, so def uh, create complaint, and this would also get a request object in its input. So I'll just write some code down, and after that I'll try to explain what happened. So like I talked about two methods, right? Get and post. So this is where you'll understand. So first we import, just let me write down the code, I'll try to explain everything. Okay, so like I talked about two methods. There is okay. Yeah. So this is how a functional view looks like. I would add some other lines as well, but first let me explain the logic. So there are two methods. So whenever a person, like when you try to open the login page of Facebook, first you basically are requesting the server to send you the page. You make a get request on the server to send you the login HTML page where you put in your credentials. And when you put in all your credentials and you click on login, it sends all that data to the Facebook servers, right? So so a basic, everyone knows basic if and else conditions. So I'm checking if the request method is post, do this logic. Otherwise, just return this. Okay, like if it is not post, let's assume there are only two methods, get and post. So if it's post, do this. If it's get, do this. So what this is doing is it's just showing the template. Let's say this logic is not over here, and we go to this template, and this is also, let's say, hello world for now. We try to at least see if this view works or not. And what do you think is next? The next is setting up the URL paths. So in the URL path, we will import the view dot use import create complaint. So what have I done? I'll summarize what I've done. We first created the model, everyone was fine till here. Then I created a forms class which we will use to get the data from the user. Next, we went to the views. We created a functional view. Right now I'm leaving this part. So what this is doing, it's just sending this HTML file. Like in the hello world part, we sent it in the code only. Like over here. Hello. Yeah. So over here we send the HTTP response inside this view only. This was the view. We directly send the data over here. But over here we are just separating the logic, like the template name has been provided, it will automatically send the HTML response which is present in this file. Any doubts in this? Like, just forget all this for now. Just a view. Earlier we directly returned over here the text, and here we are linking it to an HTML file. Any doubts? And back to the chat. Any doubts? Okay. So I can maybe show you this run server. Oh, I guess I forgot the URL part. So let's say complaint / create and create complaint. This is the path we want to go on to create a new complaint. And for now, this would show only the hello world string, nothing else. Okay. So I should just restart the server now. View so URL. The URL goes to this view. This view is over here. This view renders this HTML template, which is over here. Currently as hello world. So complaint create. So this is also showing hello world. Like, this is a different way and it's showing hello world. So now we'll write the form logic of it. So this is what the get request should return, the form, and if you have a post request, it should return the get the form data. So you can also pass other parameters, like you can pass variables onto this template, and you can do some front end logic on it. So let's say I will pass a form on this. You can see how the syntax works. Complaint form. So what I'm doing is, in the form variable, I'm passing the create complaint form. I'm passing this model, like, which I created this model form, the class. I'm passing this class as a variable over here. Okay. It's the syntax. Okay, I need some alterations. Yeah. So now this form variable is present over over here, and there is something called Jinja templating, which allows you to do some logic in the front end part. So this is usually used by this, and you can even use make for loops in this. So this is like a form you can create over here, and we'll see what happens. I took a mistake, I guess. I see. Any doubts till now? Okay. It's a minor mistake there, I guess. Just a second. The form directly works actually. I did it today only. Okay, I'll try to explain the rest of the logic. I'll fix this bug when I come to it. Okay, So what should happen is the form should be displayed as it is, and when the user clicks on submit, it should come as a post request to this view only. So if the request method is post, yeah, yes, yes. This works. I did it today only. Not audible. Not audible. Okay. As HTML. So let's see if this works. Okay, I'll check on this and let you know what the issue is. Let's just focus on the rest of the code. So when you get a post request, you get in the request all the data of the form is saved, and you create new object for, like, basically you when you make a new, pass some data in the init of an object, like you are passing this in the init of this class to create a new object, and it checks if the form is valid or not based on the things that you have declared, like the limit of the size, if it's required or not, and then saves a new complaint. So that creates a new object. uh, I'm just not sure why it's not working. Okay, let's try this. Okay. I'm sorry for this issue. Okay, I guess I got it. So there is one thing you should do in this forms.form. Make it model form. This should fix the mistake, and now it should work. Just do this thing, forms.model form, and now it should work perfectly. Yeah, so the form is here. So you can see student name, title, description, date. So if you remember, we wrote it as student underscore name, but Django is like very smart. It capitalizes spaces automatically based on underscores and snake case. So also like title T is capitalized, description, date, and so also just fix this in your code and change this line to from Django.forms import forms to from Django import forms, and change this to forms.model form. Just do this two changes. My mistake. Any doubts till now? Yes, I messed up a little bit. Any doubts? Form dot. Yeah, that worked. Okay, that was not required. I can actually send the class name as well now. Let's try this. This will also work now. Yeah, this will work. So you can directly name the form over here. I'll change the name because later we will come to class-based views and this would show a good difference. Okay, so we created the form and we're working on the view. So let's say if this is valid, and then you can say return a HTTP response that the form was saved. Just add this line at the top, import HTTP response, and we will return an HTTP response, and we will return complaint registered, or if it's not valid, HTTP response incorrect format. Okay, so the form will work like this. And now we need to create some of the HTML logic for this. So this was just a form, and you need to add some other stuff as well. You can copy this later on. Copy this from my repo, and just some basic stuff. CSRF token, submit. Okay, so this would create a form. Okay, so the form is here. Let's test it out. Anshul, title, AC, blah blah blah, and the date. Okay, the date field is not coming up properly. Let's see. It should come up as a widget, but we can work on that later. Let's see. Any doubts till now? I'll fix this. Please reply why. Any doubts? If it's okay, then reply why. Else we will reply and. Okay, what is the issue? Hello. Any other doubts? Please just put them in the chat. If it's okay, reply by yes, else reply no. So what we have done till now, model is done. We created a forms.py. Next, we created a view. In the view, we wrote the logic of post and get. If it's post, we did this, else we did that. Else it's a basic render of the form. And in the HTML, this is some Django magic that directly renders the form. And as underscore p, like it puts it in paragraph tags to better format the code. Yes, please reply in the chat, else I cannot help. Ablash, what's the issue? Hello. Yeah, the CSRF, that's a CSRF token. You can skip the logic for that or even Google it later, but it's for security purposes. So that's a token so that that is called cross reference origin attack kind of thing. So that there's no like no hacking kind of possible. No one can change the data in between. It's used for that. Security purposes only. Okay, so I'll try to fill this form again. There's some mistake, I guess. So the URL was complaint/create. Okay, so complaint has been registered. Everything was correct. Okay, so let's say if I date wrong or something else. So let's say the format was I guess DDMMYY. So if I put it in the wrong format, it should throw up an error. So incorrect format. The form was rejected. The data was not saved. So like you can call, I'll send this code as well in the chat. Yeah. So this is the form code. Model I guess you have already written. I can still paste it there. I'll push this code as well. And settings.py complaint. This is the view. I pasted all the codes in the chat as only. If you have any doubts, please let me know. I'll wait for a while I commit the code. Till then you can ask some questions. So before I go to the, I guess I thought we'll first do the list view, like list the in case you want to put the error along with the complete form there. You can do all those things. Okay. CSRA token I just explained, it's for security purposes you can say, so that no one can manipulate the data that the form is sending to the backend. So it's just for security purposes. You can read about it online. That's what it is called. You can read about it more. For now, just go along with the flow. Okay. And yeah, so I thought I'll go with the. I thought I'll list the complaints first, but I guess there's not much time. So I'll explain what are class-based views. So you realize you have to write like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, around 10 lines to do this thing. And even after that, like if I just like how Ajit had asked me to, if I if I had not used this form as well, I would have done that too in a raw manner. That would have been like 15, 17, 18 lines in all. So what I want to show you is what class-based views are. So that are like the cool part about Django, which reduces your code a lot. So first, just to see what I'm typing, then I'll try to explain. Create complaint view, and for that you need an import the views.generate import create view. Okay, so in this you only have to tell only 2 or 3 things. So first you have to tell which model you want to create like objects you want to create. Okay, so I haven't imported the model yet. Okay, I'll import the complaint model. I specified the complaint here. Template is equal to this template. And what else is there? I guess fields. No, I guess this is it. Let's check. And fields, like in the form thing, you have to mention the fields. And that is all you have to do. You don't need that forms.py thing. You just need these 3 lines. These 3 lines can do all that this all did along with this. This has been replaced. And what you did is you so you imported the complaint model from here to here. To here, you just specified which model you're working on, the template which we've already created for the form, and you mentioned what all fields do you need. So just these 3 lines would do the magic. So let's see. So first I also have to change this view in the URLs file. So I'll go to the URLs file. Earlier it was using this function view. I'll change this. I'll also import it. If you don't follow, don't worry, just see what I'm doing. I change. So if person goes on complaint/create, it goes to this view, and this view is over here. This is create complaint. This is not under use right now. This is not being used because as it is, we have instead written these 3 lines. It is working on this model to create an object, this template and all the fields. And if you want complaint/create, you should get the same result as you got earlier. So I'll start the server. Just a second, I have to just add these at the end as well. It's just some tactical. Sorry for that. Okay, so this view has been linked over here. It's just some syntax dot as view. As view. Okay, I forgot one thing. So the create view that I imported here, that is like the inbuilt Django's create view, and I imported over here. So that's where all the magic happens. And to this, I provide the model attribute, I provide the template fields, and I call it in the URLs field. And this should work now. Template. Okay, I use. There's some typo. This. Just a second. So in this, I guess made a small typo. Maybe create component.html. That's okay. I'll come to the doubts. It will work on it. If we show error with the complete form, then maybe client-side validation. Okay, client-side validation has to be added through JavaScript separately. Yeah, that would have to be used. What seems to be useful? It's a minor mistake. Complaint slash. Okay, what is the issue? Yeah, it should be template name. Yeah, so the same form is here as well. So I didn't make any change over here. This remained the same. I just made these 3 lines, and these are equivalent to all this stuff, and would have been much more if we would not have used this as well. You can make this more better use, like you can use this form class to make a lot of custom stuff, but for now I'm going with a very basic create view. Okay, so like very basic stuff. So now I'll quickly show you the list view as well. So we'll move from the functional views for now because they are not very, like, they defeat the purpose of Django being easy to use. I'll create a list complaint view and I'll import a list view, and list view imported here. You just have to tell the model name, and we have to create another template over here. List complaint.html, and template name is equal to complaint slash list complaint html. Okay, and for now I'll just quickly copy the code of something I made today for telling you guys. I won't waste much time writing it. So what I'm doing over here is, what this view does is it provides an object list to this template, and we iterate over each complaint in this list. So for loop over each complaint in this list, and for each we show the title and the description. So what do you think we do next? We need to add the URL like we did before. So this complaint we added this. I'll come back to it, don't worry. We'll clear some doubts on all these. I quickly want to show you how it will work. So if I go to slash list, it will show all the complaints that have been created. So you can see one complaint was created and the title and description as well. So now let's see if you have any doubts. Any doubts, anyone? Inheriting from base classes about the base. So yeah, I'll show you some basic views. So in the Django documentation, you can see all the basic views that are present. So there is form view, create view, update view, delete view, and there are like all the CRUD that I mentioned: create, update, delete. So you can read about these in the documentation and see which is more suitable for you. Okay. That I guess that answered Shubham. Any other doubts, anyone? I'll push the code. You can refer the code later on. I'll explain it, but if I hope you understand what the Django thing makes it easier for everyone. Any doubts or anything? Any doubts, anyone? I had okay. I'll recap what I have done till now. Created a model for complaints. It has a student name, title, description, and date. Next, we did the functional views. We can skip them for now. Directly go to the class-based views. So create complaint view looks like this. It inherits from the base classes in Django, a create view. We specify the model, the template, and the fields that we want. In the list view, we inherit the base class of the list view, mention the model and the template name. We link all these in the URLs file. Like if a user goes on slash this URL, they will hit this view. And similarly for the list view and the data is stored. The HTML part is very straightforward. I have not done any designing for now. You can include Bootstrap later on. But this what's relevant for you is Jinja templating. So you can write your logic over here. So you can write a for loop over here, iterating over each object, and you can like in the for loop you can show various information in the table, like the table that I generated. Otherwise, I don't think I should. Uh, has anyone done all any of the code that I've done till now? Like implemented on their own repo? Hello. Has anyone done the code? Okay, you can refer the code later on. So, like Ajit mentioned, you can go to the source. So I'll show you some of this. So if you want to say understand what's inside create view, like I press command B. So this is the create view, the inside Django code. So it itself inherits from other views. So it inherits from base create view. We'll go to that. Inside it has some methods and all. It further inherits from model form mixing. So like you can follow this chain up and up till you understand what you need to use. But the documentation would be sufficient for most of the cases. Like I'm open to doing more stuff, but I'm not sure if many people are interested or do following along. Anything anyone wants to me to explain again or cover for now. If you want me to explain anything that I might have been fast about, but you need an explanation. Otherwise, the Django documentation is your best friend. And as a project, you can take to write all this code on your own and make a PR on the main repository. Like, try to do this by tomorrow night. And I'll upload the videos that of the stream, and we'll upload. Like, I'll share the link with everyone. If there's nothing else, we will end this webinar for now. Okay, while you're here, I'll show you the admin part. That's the cool thing about Django. So I'll just show you what happens. You can see the code later on. Yeah, so if you guys can stick a little while longer, I'll show you the admin part. That's pretty cool actually. So if you want to create a hobby project, like the admin part is here. So use this command to create a super user first. So 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 yeah. So as you can see on the admin page, you just have to write these few lines, and it will like give you all the CRUD functionality on the admin side. So as you can see over here, all the complaints are here. You can see all the complaints that have been made. You can edit them. You can edit all these complaints if you want. You can create new complaints from here. So if this is the admin side, if you make a hobby project like for something, you can the admin part is ready made. You don't have to work to make it. So this provides all the CRUD functionality: create, remove, update, delete on for the admin. So this is really very useful. And overall, I hope this was this was beneficial for most of you, and I expect you to make some projects out of this. And like, you can contact us on Slack, you can email us. We are ready to help. And is this any? Yeah, please follow the links that Ajay is sending. So yeah, this you can follow this beginner's guide for Django. Yeah, I'll add this link in the email as well. You can copy it and open it right now. Cool. If there's any more things you want to ask, you can ask, else we'll conclude the meeting. Yeah, thanks for joining me about to one. You're welcome, guys. You can leave the call. I'll end it later.